Dangerfield.
All right there. See, this is where having my streaming privilege. What? On Gab, I just had a notification from the Gab I never visit. Said Donald J. Trump is following you. Hello? But this is where having my streaming privileges revoked is a proper pain in the arse, because it's like Sunday evening and I just want to ramble a bit, and that streaming lends itself to that. But nonetheless, pissed me off today. And you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if it was Mundane Matt. I made a video taking the piss out of him and then got a strike. It's like, hang on. I know I'm well on the periphery, but Jesus. I get some amazing messages from my Patreons, hilarious stuff. £20 dropped into my PayPal today, and the message was, "Hello mate, spend this on hookers and beer." I'm like, alright, I'll do that. Anyway, what I've done is I've strung some deaths together. Some junkie deaths. And I already know there'll be plenty of people who either write or certainly think, fuck them. Fuck those junkies. Ew, dirty junkies. Now, I know junkies are cunts. They're arseholes. There's an old joke among junkies. What's the difference between a heroin addict and a crack addict? They're both going to nick your wallet, but the heroin addict will help you look for it afterwards. But all junk is a mistake. And we've all made mistakes. And some of us have made hideous mistakes, obviously hideous mistakes. But a lot of mistakes have quite a short kind of ripple effect. You know, they're sort of made and... The problem with junk is you make a mistake of trying it. And trying it, and after a while, that mistake has fucked you well beyond what you deserved. Now, there's a little bit of bias showing here, I know. Lord, help me. Oh, happy day. Right, so I thought I'd give you some of the human sides to heroin deaths. Nice. When I went down to Devon the second time, I'd done a degree down there. Years later, I went back down with Gail, my girlfriend I ended up with for 11 years. That was about sort of 5 or 6 years in. The Crack Diaries and all that happened down in Devon. If you haven't seen them, go and watch them. Oh, superb. They're hideous. And soon we just ended up using, and I had to find dealers, and there was this bloke in Torquay called Storm. It was his real name as well. And he lived in an area called Heroin Heights, which was just the junkies. It was just a short walk from the Dole Centre. So it ended up over the years, you know, the laziest people in Torquay were living there. And it was your conventional junkie shithole. Everything had gone. If it wasn't nailed down and you could get at least 50 pence for it, it had gone. Save a few Z beds, you know, camping beds with a few pissy towels on them. They all slept in the front room, 3 of them in this house, 3 junkies. One of them, Chris, nearly dead. Just laid down, hello, like yellow as butter. Hello. He had a picture of his wife and kids on the wall and him like 10 years ago, and he was just like Bob Normal. His Christmas jumper and all that going on, and there he was dying. He said to me once, hang on. He said to me once, he went, you see, the thing is, Chrissy, heroin saved my life. Which you don't hear too often from a man dying of heroin addiction. Usually they're on the ball, junkies. I had another junkie mate, and I see him. It wasn't a good mate. I just bump into him in the scoring area of Thamesmead and Abbey Wood. And I bumped into him once. Paul, his name was. And I went, "All right, Paul," on the train. I went, "All right, Paul." He went, "Yeah, no, not really." I went, "Oh, why's that?" He went, He went, cancered up, and I. Cancered up. It's nothing. You know, birded off, and I. Fucking... Yeah, his head was getting bigger and bigger every time I see it as well. He was certainly cancering up the size of his head. Probably the steroids that were keeping him alive. He's not even a featured junkie death. Oh, that just shows you the network of casualties. But yeah, so you've got Storm living there. I'll get on to Storm in the end. You've got this Chris bloke. Oh, heroin saved my life. His logic being that he was an alcoholic, and that was killing him. But he got on the skag and off the booze, and oh, life's sweet. Life's sweet on the dole, laying there on your pissy little Z bed with literally a bottle of piss next to him that everyone knows is there, and he can't be asked to move it. A bowl of what was once some Weetabix and probably water or something just stuck to the bowl like glue, a few Rizzlers and dog ends in it. That had been there about a year. And this other geezer, Paul Chislett, old name and shame. The geezer was a sun-dried human. It's just all water had been it's like not human. Heroin had turned him. Now, when I say heroin, I never mean the drug. Oh, get a nice clean supply and have access to it. You'll be fine. You'll have problems, but you won't turn up like them. That's the lifestyle of a day grafter. Someone who has to wake up, go out and get 10 quid. That first one gets them out of trouble. Then they have to go out and get 10 quid to get another one and pretend to enjoy it all day long, all the time. That life wrecks you. They don't eat, they don't sleep, they barely drink water. This geezer, Chislett, void of liquids. An awful thing is tongue, and he always used to go, I'm terrible, constipated. Last time I had a shit, it came out sideways. I guess you shit, man. Years ago, before I'd ever touched junk, I read an article and it said heroin addicts will always seem to be terribly fascinated by the contents of their bowels and will discuss them for hours on end. I remember reading it thinking, oh, come on, man, this is bullshit. Right? As if a drug could cause that. And in reality, the drug didn't, the lifestyle did. But, oh, man, I've sat there listening to those cunts going on, well, mine are like rabbit droppings. I have to proper shovel them out. I mean, sometimes I've got like a spoon up there. And it goes on and on. Chislett was once telling old Chris, laid back on the Z bed, some old nonsense. He went, if it's red and brown in your spoon, if it looks like two colours, throw it. Don't even try it. Throw it, Chris. It won't do you any good. That's gonna be mannitol in there, and that'll put you over before the smack. Everything to a junkie is more dangerous than heroin. I absolutely promise you. Nah, don't touch. Do you want a line, Paul? Nah, don't touch the stuff. Nah. It's got petrol in it. They will defend smack to the last. That's the only thing keeping them going. That's what's saving them. That's the love of their life. That's why they're still there. Take that out, oh, they'd be dead. Their life would be a mess. Yeah, shocking. So anyway, Chislett says that. Oh, if it's red and brown in the spoon, Chris, just throw it. Don't risk it, mate. No junkies throwing any spoon ever. I've had it clearly gravy, smells like Bisto, chuck a filter in. Well, it might be a little bit of heroin in it. Taste of fucking meat on your mouth. So after he said that, Chris turned around to me, his bones crackling. And he went, it was Chislett that showed me the ways of the heroin world, Chris. Yeah. He's taught you well, son. You're looking good. Life is on. So Storm, the third one, a different character. Too clever. There's plenty of clever people in the junkie world. Believe me, you have to be. They'll usually be paired off with a spaz. You'll see that in some other of these stories. And in this instance, Chislett was his spaz. Chris never left the room, had no dramas, got his gyro, bought his gear, shared a little bit and paced himself. But Chislett was like the Lenny and George, you know what I mean, to Storm's brains. He had these National Elf glasses, bit of a plaster over one, skeleton of a man, massive head, always sweating. And just really nice, just wanted to be nice, didn't know what happened to him, had made the mistake and, you know, was clearly above that world. You know, clearly was aware that he could have achieved a lot more. He knocked me a couple of times. I tried to help him out once. Bailed him a load of crack when I was selling crack down. They gave him like 10 rocks and said, look, just bring me back 80 quid. And he knew he could get 160 for them. First bunch I give him, didn't hear from him that day. Went round his house. He went, sorry, mate, I just smoked them all. Why did I think I'd do anything else? I ended up doing that with about 4 kilos of the stuff, as you know, from the crack diaries. So yeah, he knocked me once, but after 15 years of 150 millilitres of methadone a day and as much smack that he could pop in his fucking hole in his leg, I see him once. We'd been smoking crack for a glass bottle all day. When the crack ran out, he put a bit of bicarb in the bottle, put a tiny bit of water, shook it up, had this like grey sludge, pulled it in a 2mm, put it in his... and then just sort of... he went to me, he went, I wish you felt like I feel now. And I was looking at him thinking, you're terrifying me. I never want to feel like that. Storm. So, after 10, 15 years of that, living the life, dying, getting locked up here in their holding cells, blah, 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 dealers kicking the shit out of him, just smelling, no pooing once a week, all that. Hole in his leg like a fucking 1 penny piece it was. I don't even think he could probably get away without using a spike like they do in prison. Just put the fucking cut an hole in. But after all that, his ex-missus came and got him. The ex-missus from 15 years ago when he first got on the gear with their 13-year-old son. Now, it might have some of the details wrong. It might have been less time than that. Maybe she left him a few years into it. But it had been a while. He hadn't seen the son since he was a baby. And there he was, a boy. And he said to her, I'll get clean. I'll get clean. I'll move in with you and we'll raise our son. And she went, all right, I'll give you this one chance. I still love you. He said, I still love you. And he fucking done it. He done it in that house. He done it in that hell with Chislett and Chris and the day-to-day coming and going of all the heroinites, junkies, demanding money, the dramas, throwing things, hitting people, the old Bill. Every other day the old Bill kicked the door down. Oh, it's just dramas and pain. He got clean. He walked out of there, got his last gyro, moved in with the mother of his kid. And the kid. He'd been there about 6 weeks, still feeling a bit itchy. Neighbour was playing music too loud, about 1 o'clock in the morning. Storm went round there, mild-mannered, small man. He went, excuse me, mate, my kid's there, and he's trying to get to sleep, and the music's a bit loud, and the bloke went, punched him straight in the nose, killed him. Dead. My mate, another mate, works in a theatre, and he said to me he was on tour and he was somewhere up north and he met this bloke, and this bloke was talking about heroin with him, and he said, my dad was a junkie. He went, he died in the end. His name was Storm. Yeah, my mate ended up working with his son. Some fucking life he's got ahead of him. So that's that. Now the next one, I knew this geezer from school. His name was Glenn. He was a gentle giant, an absolute beast of a man, a unit. But just nice, again, you've got the Lenny and George thing going on, of Mice and Men. He had a mate, this little rattiest thing. The girlfriend of the rattiest thing watches these videos. She'll know exactly what I'm talking about this story. You might want to correct me on the details, love. But the ratty one who was making all the deals, putting himself first, treating him like a bodyguard, if anything. Anyway, I knew him from school on and off. I knew his brother on and off. And then I knew him for about a year scoring daily with him and the Rattus. And one day they've got home and there was some geezers trying to get into this girl's house, just smashing the door. Travellers. And this kept going on. And in the end, Glenn just went down there and said, well, why don't you fuck off, leave her alone. I think they sort of went off or something, come back and shot him at point blank range through the heart, killed him instantly. His funeral was shocking. There was a row of cars, about 40 long, just people hanging out the doors, like with cans of lager and like drum and bass playing. Don't you buy my no, yeah, just madness. And the dealing that went on there in the toilets and the fucking, well, I like to say the toilets, it was everywhere. It was a strange thing to happen. There was this other geezer, didn't know much about him, but I'll tell you, you'll see why I want to tell this. Andy, his name was. He had a girlfriend. They lived in the area where we all scored in those days. And they had all the contacts. They never give you them. You had to go through them. Can you buy us a bag? She'd always say, buy us a bag, you know, just so, you know, like helping you out. Buy us a bag. On that weird little junkie scene, a few blokes would go, no, I like her, Anna, I think her name was. Oh, I like that Anna. And she's like, buy us a bag. Buy us a little sexy stuff. And he died. He died. Just one day was dead. And I said to her, what killed him? And she said he had some kind of infection. But you know what the doctor said? He said if it weren't for the heroin, he would have been in agony. And I thought, you know what? You're still defending what almost certainly killed him. You're still doing it. That's what she said. If it weren't for the heroin, he'd have been in agony. That I think she added, that's probably been what's keeping him alive. Yeah, that's what it'll be. Sticking a dirty blunt needle in a fucking hole in your fucking groin 20 times a day with anything that you can buy at any just killed him. There was this other fella. He was a friend of a friend, really. Got my mate arrested for attempted murder because when they found the body, he had my mate's phone number in his hand. He got busted. He was like, what? Hang on, I ain't killed no one. Mum and Dad come back from holiday. Hello, how's it going? He went, I've been arrested for attempted murder, heroin overdose. Wasn't even an addict or nothing, just proper put the dairy on him. A few years before that, someone else done it. They bought like a bag between them. They're not junkies. They got me to get it for them. They had this... And they've gone round one of them two's houses, and they're on it, a few spikes and that. And then my mate's gone home, and the other geezer's mum's found him in the bathroom with a toothpaste all over the place, just out cold. She's gone, where did you get it? And he went, and just put it on him. So my mate, they rung my mate's mum and dad up. Your son gave us smack. Gave my son heroin. What? Imagine, unnecessary. Just say you bought it in the pub. Anyway. So, the geezer who died had his number in his hand. But this bloke, the bloke who died, just a normal, lonely young man, had never been near heroin. And then one day, another mate, the geezer that got arrested for the attempted murder, he went, Alan wants to meet you. I thought, a weird thing for someone. That's no introduction. Why? What? So I went, all right. And he come round and he was really weird, like he was doing me a favour. I think he thought I needed saving. I mean, I was a wreck, but... You know, a bloke sort of 15 years my junior, who I don't know, is not what I required. And as he left, he turned around and he went, I'll be your friend. You've almost just eliminated yourself from all possibility by saying that. And then he just got into the gear, just got into it, and then was dead. And there's hundreds of these. And a mate, one of my subscribers, I met up with him in Phnom Penh Centre a couple of times. Really nice bloke. It's lovely. All my subs have been lovely to meet. And while he's been here, like last night, someone he knows died, meth. He said he knew him, just lovely. It just got hold of him and just killed him. It is, I do sometimes around this stuff because the media and all the anti-drugs education is, you know, it's demonised drug use, especially heroin. And yet, you know, people who drink will sort of talk about, oh, well, you stick that horrible stuff in you. Come on, man, what that horrible? You know, I mean, let's get it into a little bit of perspective. You know, these are people, they're people who've just made a mistake. And oh, thee who does not cast the first stone. I know that's not...
Thanks for watching.
រំលេចជា